Hi, I'm Christine with Torrance Citi Cable, and today we're checking out the Madrona Marsh Preserve during COVID-19. There are a few changes. First, make sure you have your mask, and then we're going to go check in at that station over there. Let's go. Ambassadors at the front gate go over some rules and regulations before I head inside to explore the 45-acre preserve.
It's one of the only remaining vernal freshwater marshes in LA County. And vernal sounds like a big word, but all that really means is spring. So we rely on the rains. The more rain we get, the more our wetlands fill, the more aquatic habitat we have.
With more than 750 species of animals and plants, the look of this marsh changes with the season. During the fall, expect to see and hear a lot of birds that are migrating hundreds, if not thousands of miles in search of a winter home.
Madrona is a place where they can stop, rest, fuel, and get water. They'll spend a couple days here and then continue along their migration path.
Manager and naturalist Melissa Lobel says the pandemic has motivated many locals to check out the marsh for the first time.
We had a significant increase in visitors. We went from 1 to 200 to 1,200 people in one day. That was a big number for us.
She says 60% of their visitors are new, and annually they now see about 43,000 people, up from 36,000 just 2 years ago. Torrance residents TERRI and Katsuko CHUMLEY say they're thankful to have a place like this to escape to during the pandemic.
Being locked up at home and being limited as to where you can go is stressful in itself. And it allows us to come out here and calm down and relieve stress, exercise at the same time.
And Steve Morici looks forward to visiting again with his wife and their grandchildren throughout the year.
It makes it really nice just to get out and get some fresh air, and looking forward to the rainy season too, when the waterfowl come back through here.
Lobel hopes visitors get the mental health break they need here as we all continue to navigate through these uncertain times.
5 minutes ago, I heard 9 species of birds. I'm in this forest, this canopy. I feel like I've escaped the city. I feel like I've escaped the busy world we live in today. It's a place where I can turn off, relax, be present in the moment.
She also hopes more people gain a new appreciation for nature and for the Madrona Marsh Preserve.
It's so important that we continue to protect this space. It's a place where plants and animals can thrive, but people too.
In Torrance, I'm Christine Lee.
What's up, guys? Leslie Robbins here, coming to you from Zamperini Field, the premier destination for aviation enthusiasts here in Torrance. Of course, it's home to a museum, flight school, and it's a base for private aircraft. But just like LAX, the coronavirus pandemic has changed the way this private airport does business. RAFAEL Herrera, you are the airport manager. So tell me, how has COVID-19 affected this airport? Obviously, it's not on such a grand scale like Los Angeles International Airport.
Yeah, so if you want to compare LAX to Torrance Airport, it's two separate airports. One, obviously, LAX is a commercial airport. Torrance Airport is not a commercial airport. We have more of a private general aviation aircraft that utilize this airport. The number of operations during the pandemic now with COVID, it has been more impactful for the commercial airports. I haven't seen those numbers. The numbers at LAX have been, close to 80, maybe even 90% during the worst part of the pandemic, probably back in April, May. The numbers that we saw during those months, it was more of a reduction, about 30%. Now we see those numbers here in August and September to be a lot more than maybe around 15 to 20%. Obviously, we're not at 100% of what we were last year, but those numbers significantly have changed during the whole COVID because of, the travel, the leisure travel, and all the general aviation aircraft have been reduced, but not anything near what we saw in some of the airports like LAX or Burbank or Long Beach. During the time of the COVID lockdown, you have a lot of the general aviation private owner aircraft that didn't venture out to the airport during that time. Things are actually, the activity starting to pick up. I think people are a little kind of at ease and see what to expect or what kind of conditions they were. But now I think people are a little bit more in tune as far as what kind of parameters they need to follow, what kind of restrictions and stuff like that, in order for them to kind of venture out into the airport and utilize their private aircraft.
As you just said, expectations. So what can a person expect when they come here? Obviously, we're wearing masks right now. We're on the premises. We're standing 6 feet apart. What else do you have to adhere to when you're here at Zamperini Field? And it's people who own aircraft, it's guests as well, and it's visitors, because people like to come and go and watch the airplanes and the helicopters.
We've instituted a lot of things into the airport, following CDC guidelines, following the LA County Health Department guidelines that we have in place. Obviously, just wearing the mask once you're inside the building. We have sanitation stations here in the airport. We recommend if you're not feeling well, that you do not enter the airport or enter the terminal building. And you know, just following those guidelines, we've instituted in our office plexiglass to make sure that we're keeping our staff secure or safe during these times. And also we're protecting the public as well as they're visiting. Because you know, the airport, essentially, we never close. We just always kept going because it's one of those essential needs. We're part of the transportation system.
So when the general public comes to Zamperini Field, where can they go? What places on the premises can they enjoy the experience?
Yeah, so please do come and enjoy the experience here at the airport. We certainly have obviously the terminal building here is kind of the introduction into the airport, kind of like the doors of the airport. It's here, the facility is open, it's available, it's open to the public. And we have a wonderful viewing deck that is available to the public as well. Terminal and our viewing deck has a great view of the airport. Come and see and check out, bring the kids, and just have a wonderful time. There's 4 flight schools here on the airport, and they are still continuing to adhere to COVID guidelines based on CDC and from the LA County Health Department. We instituted those programs. They've been able to kind of maintain a steady number of operations based on their training. They've instituted programs where they wear masks if there's an instructor and there's a student, because it's kind of hard to do the 6 feet in between the cockpit. That's how they're managing. But I've seen them institute where they're cleaning their aircraft prior every time any student changes.
So how has COVID-19 affected charter flights?
Obviously, charter flights have reduced just since the beginning, like from April, May, June. But we're starting to see that they're coming back. And actually, they're coming back, I think, busier than it would be for some of the, like LAX or the commercial traffic.
What I find remarkable is during this whole time, nothing closed down at this airport, except for the museum, which I'm going to talk to your boss about. But everything stayed open here.
That is correct. The flight schools, the maintenance shops were all part of the essential of the transportational system. So they were open. Unfortunately, the museum, of course, was not open. Obviously, them being a museum and the foot traffic and the public, that obviously was one of those businesses that was affected here at the airport.
Gerry PINELA, you are the Facility Operations Manager, which basically means you are in charge of everything that goes down at Zamperini Field. One thing we love about this place, the Western Museum of Flight, it is closed because of COVID-19. Do you know how many people are still sad about this?
Yes, and we get daily requests, calls, people dropping by wanting to see the museum. It has been closed since the beginning of COVID. Temporarily, they are looking to come back on scene, and they're making preparations currently. I had spoken with the museum's director, and they're looking to get started back into the swing of things in the beginning to maybe mid-October. They're taking precautions. They're meeting CDC and LA County Health protocol in order to do that. They're really prepping their displays, making things socially distant, and we'll be opening up by appointment. It's a great place to visit. They have model airplanes, they have actual airplanes in there, a library. They have a lot of things that the community likes to come and see.
Everyone is so excited for the reopening of the museum. How will people know when that's going to be?
They can visit WMOF.com. That's the Western Museum of Flight website. They will be posting information regarding their opening dates.
We will be there at that reopening.
We look forward to seeing you here.
Hi, my name is Terri FERREN, and I work for the City of Torrance Cultural Arts Center, and I'm here to let you know that we're ready to reopen anytime, as soon as we can. And in that light, we've implemented many safety features so that when you come, you feel comfortable to come on back to the Torrance Cultural Arts Center. We're ready when you're ready. Let's go take a look. Come on. For now, it may be required for your safety to wear a face covering. Please be mindful of maintaining 6 feet between you and other patrons while at the Torrance Cultural Arts Center. We are implementing sanitizing stations in addition to the frequent cleaning of each room. Plus, we will be using the new sanitizing fogger for each room in between every use. Installed in the entry plaza on the concrete are floor decals to assist you with distancing when purchasing a ticket or waiting in line to enter one of our theaters. We will soon be open for tours of our facilities. Until then, remember reservations of any of our rooms, including the George Nakano Theater, the James Armstrong Theater, and our Pine Wind Japanese Garden, perfect for intimate weddings and petite events, are now being made. Thank you for taking the tour with us. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you soon at the Torrance Cultural Arts Center.